The other bill that I'm signing today gives prosecutors and regulators new tools to crack down on what's helped cause this crisis in the first place, and that's the twin scourges of mortgage fraud and predatory lending. Last year, the Treasury Department received 62,000 reports of mortgage fraud, more than 5,000 each month. The number of criminal mortgage fraud investigations opened by the FBI has more than doubled over the past 3 years. And yet, the federal government's ability to investigate and prosecute these frauds is severely hindered by outdated laws and a lack of resources. And that's why this bill nearly doubles the FBI's mortgage and financial fraud program, allowing it to better target fraud in hard-hit areas. And that's why it provides the resources necessary for other law enforcement and federal agencies, from the Department of Justice to the SEC to the Secret Service, to pursue these criminals, bring them to justice, and protect hardworking Americans affected most by these crimes. It's also why it expands DOJ's authority to prosecute fraud that takes place in many of the private institutions not covered under current federal bank fraud criminal statutes, institutions where more than half of all subprime mortgages came from as recently as 4 years ago. Furthermore, it allows DOJ to prosecute anyone who fraudulently obtains Recovery Act or TARP funds, precious taxpayer dollars we've carefully invested in order to turn this crisis around. And finally, it creates a bipartisan financial markets commission to investigate the financial practices that brought us to this point so that we make sure a crisis like this never happens again. Our current troubles were born of eroding home values and portfolio values, but also an erosion of our common values. So if we want to fully dig ourselves out of this crisis, we're going to need to do more than just change policy. We need all of us to live up to our responsibilities. Government must set the rules of the road that are fair and fairly enforced. Banks and lenders must end the practices that added to this mess. Individuals must take responsibility for their own actions, and all of us must learn to live within our means again. Now, I believe we're moving in the right direction, but I want to remind everybody that it took many years and many failures to get us here, and it's going to take some time to get us out. The stock market will rise and fall. The job market has taken a beating and won't be back immediately. The housing market still has a long way to go, but I'm confident we will get there. And if we keep at it, if we all do our part to usher in a new era of responsibility, then I'm convinced that we will recover from this recession, and we're going to come out on the other side stronger and more prosperous as a nation and as a people. So with that, I'm going to sign the Fraud Enforcement and Recovery Act along with these extraordinary legislators who helped to make it happen. Give them a big round of applause.